You're muted. You're muted. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Hello. Hello, people. I can't hear him, so I'm just gonna sit here. Let's see if it's on my end. I don't think so. Nope. Yeah, it's not on my end. Sorry, guys. Give us a second.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing
Yes,
one two
there you go.
three. You hear
There you
me?
go. Yes.
Testing. That was weird because it was on the setting. It just. Oh, that was a little craziness. Now I'm getting a Safari quit expected. Ignore. Dude, fam, welcome back to the Convo Couch, everyone. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes, I can hear you.
Welcome back to the Convo Couch, everyone. I'm Pasta Jardula.
He doesn't, he can't just, not have it like not say his line. He
Fam,
has to say his line or then it's just not right for him, right? He can't just like not do this. Yes, I'm
because it's for
Gorilla, guys.
editing purposes, fam. You're not like you like what when Joe's getting ready to start the thing over again, he could just all he has to do now is go to that spot where we introduce ourselves again. That whole flip flub in the beginning just goes away. But
He has to go where
obviously,
you stop talking and then we get right to it. That's
well, fam, I'm gonna need you to riff for 2 seconds while I pull this up because I am pulling up our new Gibson Go. It's been a little bit of a weirdness because everybody is like taking holiday, fam, for the holiday. I still don't know why you have me working on a classic day. It's a Labor Day, and I am a laborer, and I feel like really like
Oh,
yeah,
I
like
forgot it was Labor Day.
oh, I
I
know.
don't we don't
Now
I'm
you're
in
not
Russia.
American anymore, right?
We don't celebrate Labor Day in Moscow because they have holidays and labor and pretty much give people off like way more than in the United States. Like so yeah.
Yes, they don't need a fake Fugazi holiday to like, kind of throw over the sheets over the eyes of the people like us. Hey guys, look, we're not going to give you good wages. We're not going to give you a good economy, but we'll give you a day off where you can go eat really inexpensive processed food because that's what the food is like. You know what I'm saying? And people can't get no money to get no good food, fam, so they're eating cheap food. It's just
Don't
like
people
all part of
do
America.
barbecues,
Yeah.
right? Don't people do barbecues and stuff?
Yeah, and according to Corinne Jean Pierre, that you saved like 80 cents on the last bit of groceries that went down in prices. That you should be helpful. Be happy that you even got that. Guys, we need you to share the dickens out of this right now. We only see one people on Rumble, one person on Rumble. We got 122 on the YouTubes, and I didn't see us up on the page of live streams. The Convo Couch was not popping up there. That happens quite a bit, like on the regular page, which shows you who's live and whatnot. Also, right here, we are starting this off, fam. You want to talk about this right now because I got the link on the screen and I got the screen on the link. So if you want to talk about what we're doing here, please do.
Okay. Well, we're going to Brazil to cover the elections, and the flights to get me out of here are ridiculous, insane. Like it's gonna take me like a while just to even get to that side because remember I can't fly directly out of Moscow anywhere because of the sanctions. So it's basically that a lot, and then also um on the way back is also a thing. But also the fact that we're doing this on our own, we're going as journalists with a group of people. We might, try to get a hold of some allegations here and there, but it's really hard to do that from over here or from over there where Pasta is. We kind of have to be in Brazil, so we're gonna try to go ASAP, and we're gonna go observe the elections, right? Like it's gonna be Bolsonaro versus Lula, and this is a rematch, meaning if you guys don't know, Lula was imprisoned by Bolsonaro, I buy the same factions as well. And so this is a very huge fight for Brazil. A lot of people are looking at it as if Brazil goes Lula's way, there's going to be changes in Latin America because Brazil's Latin America, particularly South America's largest economy. And in terms of what Lula's focusing on, he's focusing on the environment in terms of like the Amazon and taking care of the natural resources of the country, and focused on getting the a more workers oriented type of message. Bolsonaro is he has claimed to be extremely um far right. He's boasted about it, but more what that means in terms of the scope is is very different now. He was very much anti the regular COVID protocols. Um, so that might be a way for him to get votes. I think that was a way for him to get votes. At the last minute, he's actually made changes to uh, help people out monetarily, but it's been very, very vague. So, yeah, it's kind of like, I mean, obviously, you guys know where I stand on that, but it'll be interesting just to cover this election and see. It seems like Lula's getting a lot more support than Bolsonaro. Not as big of a wide gap as it was at the beginning, but it's still I think it's still significant. Hopefully, we don't have to be there. Hopefully, whatever the result is, we really don't have to be there more than once. I mean, we're not. I'm not going to be able to be there for the second round if there's a second
Speak
round.
for
It's
yourself, fam. You know what I'm saying? I might go back to
um,
Brazil twice. Oh, sorry.
okay. Well,
You want to see me? Let me. Oh, I'm gonna get Carnival and that son of a beeswax, fam. You know,
who?
Carnival, Carnival.
Oh,
You
Bam,
know, it's
you were
their big
trying to
festival.
say
You
it a
know
certain
this,
way.
right?
Bam, I
Like,
know
do
what
I have to
carnival is.
explain this to you? I mean, this is like embarrassing at
Oh
this
my
point.
God. Fam, I swear to God, I will slap you across Moscow, like right now.
Well, guys, the link is there. Show some love. Please, givesendgo.com/the Convo Couch Brazil. Now, if you go to support the Convo Couch, we'll be able to still get that. That campaign's going. That was our Colombian campaign. And somebody, before we started this and got this up, left a little love with some messages saying, hey, man, go out there and have a great time. Maybe run into Glenn Greenwald while you're out in Brazil, because he lives out there, of course. And there's a couple people who showed some love, some Assange people, guy by the name of Tom Smothers. Thank you so much. Left some love. So we got the ball rolling there. But this is the new one. Givesendgo.com/the Combo Couch Brazil. Help us get on the ground, ladies and gentlemen. We need to get our butts over there. And you guys always find a way to make it happen. So we're going to do it. Like Fam says, we're going out as journalists. We can always get a phone call that would help us get a little bit more inside, where we get a little bit more attention. But once we get there, we can probably get to all the things we want, like the whole classes explaining the system and how it works, because Brazil, fam, does use a form of open source software computers and tabulation machines. And I just want to learn more about it because it's going to be a little bit different, than what we experienced in Honduras, in Peru, in Nicaragua, and Colombia. It's a little bit different here in Brazil. So we need to get out there. We need to report. Fam, also when we're talking about Bolsonaro, not just the fact that he's getting a lot of Republican, conservative, patriot love because of the WHO, his fencing off and telling the WHO to go scratch with the international health regulations. The doctors like him too because he's looking for other forms of therapeutics there in Brazil. So a lot of some of those doctors that we know like him. But he did come out of BRICS with a deal for diesel, which kept the cost of diesel down for trucking in his country. Excuse me. Now they have a lot of ethanol over there, and a lot of the country's powered by ethanol, but they still use a lot of diesel. And he came right out of BRICS. And I know BRICS has been around for a long time, but fam, you know this. The game has changed right now. It's a different time. It's a different era, and BRICS has a lot more meaning right now, especially when they can come out for a deal for fuel. I think Bolsonaro really helped himself. Do I think it's enough to get over the gap and get over the hump and beat Lula? No, I do not. And there's a lot of other things suspect about Bolsonaro, but these things he's trying to at least get to the second round, and he might be able to do that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's doing all of that for political reasons. I don't think it's like a genuine attempt to actually help people out, because that's why there's so much there's been a lot of protest against his government, and only recently has he actually done anything because he knows he's campaigning. So
Yeah.
there's that whole aspect, and also he's already been saying the elections are going to be are rigged, and so that there's a lot of comparisons to him um, with Donald Trump. And I kind of hate those comparisons myself, to be honest, because I think it's a completely different situation in Latin America. People need to stop comparing um, politicians that are US, North American type of politicians to Central and South America, because it's a completely different place. It's a completely different political spectrum. I mean, like we talk about it all the time, the left in Latin America is different than the left in North America. It's a completely different point of view. And and so is the right in many ways. I mean, when we're talking about far right in Latin America, we're usually talking about people who have fascistic tendencies, literally have paramilitary factions, and Bolsonaro has been, of course, accused of that as well, of going after political dissidents. And so there's a lot to say in this election, I think, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's one of the most important elections that we have. The next one after this, I believe, is Argentina next year, which, as you know, is becoming even more important with everything that's been happening as well. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I do think Lula is. He just met with uh, Bolivia's Bolivia's top officials.
Hmm.
So I do think Lula is definitely going to be a pro BRICS um, candidate as well,
Yeah.
based on what I've been seeing. So it's kind of interesting to see that whole dynamic. But I think his style is more of like uh, protecting the resources of Brazil,
Yeah.
and also nationalizing and having a lot of workers type of policies. Lula, I think, is trying to put himself more as a populist, but he's really. I just think that people have so many issues with the lack of policies he's geared towards the working class. So we'll see what happens. I really hope like there's just one round, because if there's a second round, that's when things get really shifty and when it gets really scary. Luckily, Gustavo Petro had a lot of support. Everybody was kind of like in Honduras, where people were super involved in the elections. It was like they knew it was life or death. They were like watching every move, and I genuinely was like, wow, he may not win this election. But in terms of Brazil, there's already like a record of a lot of conflict. So I really hope we don't get to that. So anyway.
Fam, let's just jump right into it, guys. We haven't had a donation yet. We just put it up yesterday. If you want to be the first, go ahead and do it. I'll be watching the stream. Make sure you put your name in there, and we'll show you some love. Fam and I are hitting the Brazilian streets, the favelas, as if you would say, and going out there, and we're going to report to what's going on. There's a lot of things when we get there. Obviously, we're going to go take a look at some of the Fia's talked about, maybe going into some of the favelas, talking to the Afro-Indigenous population there as well. I'd like to know a lot about agriculture, what's going on, and also, protocols for the COVID. I'd like to know and see what they were doing or what they plan to do moving forward, because there's a lot of stuff that's going on, fam, and we should pay attention to all of it. And the best way to do it is to actually go there. So, fam, I'm going to bring up the first topic of the day. I think I misspoke yesterday when I said Biden asked for 47 billion and 17 billion was going to Ukraine. I misspoke. It's not 17 billion going to Ukraine. It's only 13.7 or 13.1 billion. It's somewhere in the 13 billion range, fam. My bad, my B, but I still think that this is ridiculous. So I'm going to pull this up, make this a little bit bigger here for the audience to see. Biden seeks 47 billion for Ukraine, COVID-19, monkeypox, and disasters. Pretty much, fam, like you put it, global warming stuff, right? President Joe Biden is asking Congress to provide more than $47 billion in emergency dollars that would go towards the war in Ukraine, the response to COVID-19 pandemic, the ongoing monkeypox outbreak, and help for recent natural disasters in Kentucky and other states. The request comes as lawmakers are preparing to return to Washington and fund the government, which seeks 13.7 billion related to Ukraine, fam. I don't even know what the total is now since this thing started in April, including money for equipment. I like the way they put that. Intelligence support and direct budgetary support, meaning we have to pay for everybody in Volodymyr Zelensky's government. We have to pay for a cokehead's government. Shalanda Young, the director of the White House Office of Management and Budget, said more than 3/4 of the $40 billion approved by Congress earlier this year has already been dispersed or committed. And fam, we know how much of that actually goes to the people. We saw it with the whole CBS 60-minute report. They're reporting somewhere around 70% doesn't even get to the home. So your initial thoughts as we start reading this, because to me, fam, this almost feels like Joe Biden is drunk at a bar using your credit card and nobody has the ability to cut him off. And he keeps ordering drinks for him and his friends as he's falling down drunk.
I think the United States is drunk. Like I mean it's ridiculous. I mean it's kind of like what's going on in the UK and what's going on in Europe. People are really starting to get pissed off. They have been now for the last few months. And of course, as soon as gas prices went down, a few people started going back to, oh, okay, well, it's not that bad. But now, more billions, and it's not just 13 billion. It's 13 billion on top of what's already been given to Ukraine. That's a lot of money, especially when you have a country economically that's not doing so hot, right? Where prices are going up, and people are in sticky situations. The housing market is it's becoming harder and harder for people to buy homes. I think my friend was telling me how like a one bedroom, an okay one bedroom in Florida is like $1,800 right now in like Central Florida, and people don't make a lot of money like in Florida for them to be paying those prices. That's what it was in LA not long ago. So it's kind of like everything's going up, and we're sending so much money to Ukraine. Not to mention the fact that, of course, these little the story, the narratives are all falling apart. Right, we're seeing a lot of discoveries happen with the whole, the reality of the Nazi problem in Ukraine, while Biden is, of course, labeling a bunch of MAGA people fascists at the same time. So really, this just makes him less popular, I think. And to do this right now at a time where we're going into the midterms and we're going into the general election in 2 years, less than 2 years, it's kind of like stupid. I think it's dumb. So
and there's so many other areas we waste a ton of money. I mean, Syria right now, like we didn't even talk about Syria. They're building another army base, United States base in Syria. It's going to be like the third one right now. Again, I mean, why are we still even in Syria? That costs a lot of money to fund that operation. And, the whole Yemen war that's still going on, those are still American-made bombs that are being dropped over there, still starving out the Afghanis and stealing their gold, stealing their resources. Venezuela's gold still has never been returned to them. We're still causing chaos all around the world, and it's coming out of our pockets at the end of the day because it's, pretty much it's money that's just created and reappropriated to the military-industrial complex or big pharma in this case. Everybody's got their hand in the cookie jar over here. I would say even the energy companies from these ESGs are going to get when some of this money right here, fam, when he talks about disasters and future disasters. And, I know we have to eventually address Jackson, Mississippi as we get down there, and we'll get down there. But I mean, a little bit too late right now, ladies and gentlemen. We should have been working on that situation yesterday. Let me read a little bit more of this right over here. And fam, this is where it gets just so juicy. Ready?
Oh my God.
We have rallied the world to support the people of Ukraine as they defend their democracy, and we cannot allow that support of Ukraine to run dry, Young said in a blog post. The White House request will play into congressional budget negotiations in coming weeks as financing for federal agencies is set up to run out on September 30th. So all those billions of dollars, it's empty, fam, by September 30th. I mean, I don't know what they're ordering on the credit card. Maybe they're ordering Louis the 13th shots, but this is just ridiculous. Both parties will be seeking to avoid a government shutdown in the weeks before the midterm elections, but they will have to work out their differences over issues like the COVID-19 aid, which has been a sticking point for many months, as the White House has said more money is needed for vaccines and testing, and Republicans have pointed to the trillions that have already been approved. Not for nothing, fam. I'm so sorry, but, Republicans a little bit late here. Y'all signed the freaking goddamn CARES Act. Only people like Thomas Massey were pushing against this shit. You gave out trillions of dollars over there, and now the gravy train's going. Once you got it started, it's never going to stop, fam, and that's where we're at.
Yeah, this seems just like an extension of Build Back Better. Talking about climate change, COVID, monkeypox. No, like, who has monkeypox? This is like, it's so ridiculous. And of course, the money for Ukraine Nazis, essentially, and for weapons to end up in the black market, because that's what ends up happening, or for Zelensky to get a nicer villa and with a nice pool. I mean, that's really where this money ends up, and not it's not helping Ukrainians. It's not helping anybody.
Sorry about that, fam.
Fam.
Yeah, go ahead, fam. I'm listening.
I'm done.
That's it. My bad. I'm sorry about that, guys. There is a little video I wanted to set up over here, fam. It is a video about the monkeypox that was on the same article. So let me bring it on in. I apologize for cutting you off there, fam. But here we go. We're going to play this video.
Is really a series of unforced errors.
Critics say the U.S. is playing catch-up as monkeypox spreads and affects more people.
10 years ago, the United States had 20 million doses of this vaccine frozen in the national stockpile, and we allowed them to expire.
The White House says 1.8 million vaccine doses will be available for orders starting today. It says it's already distributed about 1 million and has an agreement to get more than 5 million more vials.
I think we all want as much vaccine as possible.
Mecklenburg County, North Carolina was the first place to receive extra doses for a public LGBTQ event. It offered them at the Charlotte Pride Festival over the weekend.
Especially that you can get it right now. You don't have to make an appointment. Made it very easy.
Anyone can get monkeypox. New York is reporting its first case in a minor, and last month the CDC identified 2 infected children. Officials say parents shouldn't worry about their kids at school, but some college students say they're taking notice.
Now monkeypox is sort of very visible, so I don't know, I was like, this sort of looks very serious and scary.
Washington, D.C. has more reported cases per capita than any state. One patient was a student at George Washington University.
I think pandemics are here to stay, and we'll stay fully vaccinated and cautious and following guidelines and keep moving on.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Fam, make sure you follow those guidelines. You know what I'm saying? And do these people not look at their history? I mean, it is safe and effective. I guess we have to say that about the monkeypox too as well. But I mean, this is just nuts at this point. Like, it's just like everybody wants more vaccine. Follow
the fact that I mean, this isn't really part of the section, but I just, I just want to say, what do you mean pandemics are here to stay? Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Like, why so, it's just so stupid.
Well,
anyway,
remember, 47 billion. This money is going to COVID-19, monkeypox, and the future. So this is like monkeypox. This is talking about some of the money that they're going to be used. They're showing you right there. They're just kind of bussing these things in, and they used to have all these vaccines that they don't have anymore. For some reason, they're gone, and now they need to buy new ones. So that's what's going on, and that's where your money is being spent, fam. So we'll go there. Want to get to the next section, or should I read some super rays?
No. Let's go to the next section.
All right, we'll get to the next section, fam. Coming on up, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. Hit the like button, hit the share button. Remember, we also have a why isn't this? Sorry. We also have a Give, Send, Go, guys. Give, Send, Go is it'll help the Convo Couch get to Brazil. It's givesendgo.com / the Convo Couch Brazil. So, fam, if you can riff a little bit while I bring it up, I need 2 seconds.
While you bring the next section up?
Yep.
Okay, so guys, where's Obama when you need him to drink water in Jackson, Mississippi? Right? Where is he? He's busy getting an Emmy for narration, right? Because if you're a war criminal in the United States, you get rewarded, you get medals, you just get foundations, so you never have to really do anything again. You write books, right? Like if you're a war criminal in the United States, you just get all sorts of things. I mean, it really pays to be a war criminal in the US. So, meanwhile, right? All the countries that are pretty much in complete and total devastation because of Bush, and then of course Obama, and we're still living the consequences of that. We've seen Afghanistan, what's going on there. We've seen what's happening in Iraq and Libya. Thank you, Hillary Clinton. And also, remember when Obama drank the water in Flint, Michigan? And by the way, Flint, Michigan still doesn't have clean water. That's still a problem that hasn't been resolved. And if you go to Michigan, Flint, Michigan, Detroit, Michigan, even a lot of people have said that. Even people here who think the United States is still cool because of Hollywood, they'll say, "Oh yes, Michigan does look like a war-torn country." Somebody said it looks like parts of the Donbass look like for a while. I mean, Michigan looks like what people say a third world country. What I would say is a developing country, right? Like a completely war-torn country. And Jackson, Mississippi, of course, now, I don't know if you put the picture in there, but there's like a picture of a bathtub of the water coming out of the faucet. It is like black. And people were being told that if they boil that water, it'll be drinkable.
Yeah, I know. It's like
I
the
mean,
way they're solving this thing, fam, is like this is a little bit of article because it went back to how we got to the point where this is at right now. And people saw this coming. But yeah, the solutions when it comes to FEMA is they want to make sure they get enough bottled water in people's hands. So this is an old article, says Jackson's water system. How do we get here and how does it get fixed? And it just explains the history of Jackson, how it's, at one point in the 90s, it had 35,000 people. Then it just jumped on up, respectively, to about 42,000 and whatnot. And it kept growing. But it just talks about the issues real quick. I'm going to read off some of this really quick so we get an idea about what happened in a state where the economy was built on a history of racial struggles. That was left in Jackson was a high concentration of low-wage jobs, renters, and impoverished families. This caused revenue to take a hit, as many families were simply unable to afford the pronounced increase in services. According to the Brookings Metro Monitor, the Jackson metro area has only increased its jobs by 6.6% between 2009 and 2019, which is terrible. Over that same period, median wages in Jackson declined by 7.6%. So prices went up, wages went down. As the wages declined, ironically, so did the quality of the city's water and sewer systems. Both the collapse of Jackson's water system earlier this year, boil water notices, and huge potholes were the commonplace. Most of the pipes that run beneath Jackson date back to the 1950s, fam. This denotes a huge problem that wouldn't be fixed by only one administration. City officials said that 90% of its roads are in poor shapes, and the responsibility to fix them falls on them. Any revenue currently comes from the 1% sales tax approved in 2014 and the general budget. Mayor Chalkley Lumumba, I can't even say his name, has said he doesn't want to raise that 1% in sales tax to meet the shortfall. To date, Jackson has spent nearly $16 million on roads. The council has previously approved expenditures in 2002 to $500,000 and 2009 to $1 million. Water-related expenses in Jackson are directly connected to the revenue. Jackson has been able to make a long-term investments in infrastructure, and the emergency fixes have led to more expensive repairs over time. Biden's bipartisan infrastructure plan includes $48 billion in new funds for water-related problems, as detailed by the U.S. Water Alliance. There is $11.7 billion allocated for drinking water state revolving fund over 5 years. $11.7 billion is allocated to clean water revolving fund. Is allocated to clean water state revolving fund for over 5 years, and $15 billion is allocated to addressing lead service lines over 5 years that will be dispersed via the drinking water fund. There's also an additional $10 billion that focuses on emergency contaminants. So that is what's been going on, fam. Pretty much the system itself is just getting overloaded, and the money has declined there. They haven't been able to find a lot of tax money to take care of these issues and fix these situations. But I'm very sure, and from what I heard, there's been a lot of questions on how money is spent, just like everywhere else. A lot of times the money comes in, it goes to contractors, it doesn't go to the spot it's supposed to go to, and the people, they really, really suffer. So this is a situation where it's an old system. It's kept on getting kicked aside. They don't have money to fix it. They only have money for certain things, and they're probably not prioritizing. And now these people don't even have fresh, clean water, fam.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me, just based on how a lot of cities like Jackson, right, like Flint, they just completely get forgotten. A lot of people don't realize that when they think about America being this amazing country, they go to Washington, D.C., they go to Los Angeles, and they go to, or like nice parts of California, because Los Angeles is no longer a nice part of California, not even San Francisco anymore. So they go to, like, say, Florida or the theme parks, or New York, even the tourist parts of New York. They don't live in New York. So when you go to these places and you don't live there, you're on vacation. It's not the same thing as when you actually live there, because most people don't live in those places because those places are too expensive. Most people live in like the suburbs, or most people live, in the middle of the country, in middle America. And middle America and the South has been largely forgotten, which is why Donald Trump got a lot of those supporters. And so you can't go to the United States, go to DC, and go to New York's Times Square and say, oh, America's so great. Look at all these, the economy, look at all these cars and blah, blah, blah. That's what people from other countries do, because they think that's how you live. You rent a car, all that. That's not realistic. What's realistic is really what's going on in Jackson. What's realistic is really what's going on in Flint, and what goes on in most of these towns in Ohio, in Iowa, in Idaho, and in Kansas, and Mississippi, Alabama, places that have long been forgotten in terms of actually taking care of the infrastructure, where you see terrible roads in Los Angeles, even in the poor areas. You won't see terrible roads in Beverly Hills, but you'll see awful roads and potholes in the areas that are more working class. And you see, if there's any sort of tragedy, right? If there's like an issue that happens, like in Texas with the electrical power grid, it just all falls apart because the infrastructure isn't there. Same thing in New York. When there's flooding, you saw how the subway came out after that. So I mean, this is not surprising. This is a systemic problem in the United States, where a lot of these towns are forgotten, and the money is never allocated. It's the same thing with the homeless crisis in Los Angeles, right? They talk about all this money for housing crisis. We never see that money allocated to the actual issue. It always goes in someone else's pocket.
Yeah, that's a common thing, fam. Contract's gonna contract, right? Contractor's gonna contract. So this next part over here, And that's what's going on with Mississippi. I heard they have $1 billion coming their way, but this is going to be kind of hairy. I don't know if it's going to get fixed. And this kind of alludes to another problem too, as well. Not just the way, finances are allocated and kind of sucked into all these contractors' problems. We saw that in California like crazy in so many different areas, whether it be the homelessness or any type of infrastructure project. But the thing about it is that water, fam, we really need to get together this situation of water. We have a water issue over here. Our water's not treated properly. It's owned by these corporations that don't give a friggin' damn about us. Nestle has too much about it. This is an issue I have with the libertarians. I always say natural resources like water need to be nationalized, and that's why we need a good government, because things like that need to be done. I mean, that's the way I feel. I said this before. I would ban fracking in a heartbeat because it fucks with our water. Fam, your guy right here. Look who it is, fam. Da-da, da-da, da.
Yeah. So
Damn, fam.
as I was saying, I'm trying to get a picture of the water up, fam, because I think we really need to put that up. But as I was saying, Obama won an award for best narration, for outstanding narrator for our great national parks, which is a series that obviously talks about that, but it's not a bad series, but the fact that he's winning awards after what he did is disgusting. As Misty always says, the wrong man is in jail, right? We have Julian Assange in jail for exposing war crimes, and we have a war criminal winning awards. But the United States always rewards like war criminals, and I mean, we're going to talk about this with Alex Rubinstein on Wednesday. But the United States rewards even Nazis or hires them for key positions. Fam, I added the picture of the water just so we can show the people
right now. I will grab it right now because I have it up.
Yeah. So Obama winning, an award is ridiculous. It's like, why the hell is he winning an award? And I'm going to read
what is that, fam?
I'm going to 2 tweets. That's the water.
No.
That's why I wanted to show it, because that's the water in Jackson, Mississippi. That's the water. Guys, this is the greatest country in the world. Everybody wants to come to the United States. We're great. I'm proud to be in America. Are you really? Is this what you're proud of? I mean, this is why I have an issue with the whole, patriot. Like, we have to be. You can be proud of people, but to be proud of a country that's allowing their citizens to have to deal with this when there's so much wealth. You're fucking kidding me. What are you proud of, really? When we're giving away billions of dollars to Ukraine, when we're literally trying to start a war with China and Russia at the same time. I could go on and on and on about everything we're doing. I mean, it's ridiculous. None of it is for its citizens. So there's nothing to be proud of at this moment. And, and the solution isn't to elect Donald Trump either, because I see a lot of people now pushing that, even on the left, on the quote unquote left. Like, what are you doing? That's not the solution. We don't have fair elections. 1, 2, Donald Trump isn't, you've had him, right? He literally pretty much put evil Geppetto in his cabinet. He put a lot of people from the actual deep state in his administration. I don't think that's going to change. And that's the thing. And like, I think DeSantis is a status quo warmonger when it comes to Latin America. So, I mean, just voting for either party, you're still participating in 2 sides of the same coin. And this is the kind of shit that both parties are responsible for, because it's not just the Republicans, it's the Democrats too. They haven't done crap for the people. This is an insult. I can't even believe this is the thing. I can't even believe that's the United States. I mean, it's just, I can, but I mean, this is like, I haven't. Hey, you want to take a look at Nicaragua's water? Even Colombia's water. I mean, we're talking about countries that have endured U.S. imperialism, paramilitary fascism, drug wars, and they have better water. than many parts of the United States and better elections. Okay. Fam, you want to read this tweet?
Obama deported a record-breaking 3 million people. He dropped 26,171 bombs. And I was okay at 26,170. But when he went to 171, that's it. In 2016 alone, he ordered 10 times more drone strikes than Bush and even joked, "I'm really good at killing people." Ah, fam, my name's Barry. But I am sure he is really good at narrating too, fam.
Right. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And so I just said what I just told you guys earlier is that the United States rewards Obama should be in jail. And I'm not just saying that, there was a point in our history where you couldn't say that because you were called a racist.
Yep.
Obama should be tried for his war crimes. Obama should be tried for his war crimes. So should Hillary. I'm an equal opportunity, like anti-warmonger here. All the men, women, black, white, whatever. I don't care. Be tried for war crimes for being war criminals. It's that simple, right? But the United States, of course, rewards war criminals with medals and promotions, and then points the finger at everybody. You want to talk about Obama's kill number and compare it to Vladimir Putin? Because Vladimir Putin's kill number, I assure you, it's a lot less than Barack Obama's. It's a lot less than Bush, than even Trump's, than even Biden's. Are you kidding me? Joe Biden's been around for a long time. So let's be real here when we talk about brutal dictators. Just because we have our mock elections every 4 years where we supposedly change presidents, the government doesn't change. And that's what people need to understand. The intelligence apparatus, the military industrial complex doesn't change. It's been the same, especially in the last few elections where we really haven't seen much of a change from an administration to the other. Some people are wrongly thinking that, if Trump were president, things would be better. I don't think they would be better. I think that the media would just focus on him so much that you would be able to see some of the things that are being done. And I do think that he says things more boldly, more truthfully, but at the end of the day, it's the same people still behind the scenes working it out. So yeah, I'm not convinced that things would be better because I do think that these presidents aren't really governing. I think what's governing is the U.S. intelligence military apparatus, and we have to really come to terms with that because I think still even some people don't believe that. I think people still think, oh, if we get somebody in there, we can just maybe push a little bit of change and blah, blah, blah. If you get somebody in there that would actually do something, they'll die. So, I mean, they'll be murdered. So that's the brutal reality. I'm not exaggerating. That's what it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, do us a favor. Hit the like button. Hit the share button. Share this stream, fams. Get it out there, fam. Thank you so much. That is right. It doesn't make a difference right now. Who's running shit? Fam, I'm pretty good at killing people, I guess. Fam, we got to show some love over here. We have an announcement right now. Let me show you something, fam. Guess what we have? We have our first donors. Fam, it's so exciting. I love talking about this stuff. It's a fun time. We have our first person out there, fam. Yeah. Let me show you. Here it is. It is Steve Richter. He left a 50 spot. It says Brazil. Here we go. Brazil 22. Here we go. Let's give him some hearts there. Give him a love over there, guys. Let's give him a like too as well.
Thank you, Steve Richter.
Steve was the first, everybody. You don't want to be the last.
Not to be confused with Steve Pokemon. Steve Richter.
Fam, he's not Pokemon. It's Pokemon. Come on.
Fam, I know.
It's, the troublemaker right now,
So
fam, let me put my watermark up there. I'm going to read a little quick super raise because we only have two. Hello there. Love you guys, says a Trey Wright, fam.
Hey, Trey.
What's up, Trey? Chris Leone. Hello, guys. Happy Labor Day.
Right.
Workers of the Earth, unite. Please have Nathan Stoppelman on and Jelena on your show to have a great up and coming show. And Jelena is a wonderful independent voice of color. They have a great show. Would love to see them on the Convo Couch or AM Wake Up. We would love to have them. If you say you want to see them, we'd love to see them too. Fam.
So you guys remember the Bread and Round Alliance? That was Pasta's alliance he was forming with
The bread
people
round.
who like bread and are round, right? That was your
Sam,
alliance
do
that
you
you
have
were
a link
forming.
to this article? Otherwise, I'd have to do a little work. But if you do have a link to the article, I'll be able to use it. Actually, just read I'll bring up the cover for you. You read it, and then we will. As you are. No, I want to remove that.
You know what? A lot of things aren't showing up in my. For some reason, it's like a question mark.
What's
I
wrong?
see. I don't know. It's not showing up on the thing. It's showing up in my phone, but not on the thing. But I can read the. Yeah, I mean, I can't.
As you read that, I am going to go take care of the other pictures right now. So go ahead.
Okay, so guys, you know I was talking about the Bread and Round Alliance because 70,000 Czechoslovakian Czech people from the Czech Republic took to the streets against the government and protesting the EU and NATO, particularly protesting NATO. They want to get rid of NATO and protesting the sanctions on Russia. And so it was thousands and thousands of people. Now it started with Czechoslovakia or the Czech Republic, and they really demonstrated, and this was across the political spectrum. So I'm gonna mention that again. So remember when we got accused of being part of the Bread and Round Alliance because we had
Red Brown Alliance.
Yes, fam. I know. I'm fam.
Sorry.
Because we had libertarians on. We had what's his name? Our Boogaloo friend.
Magnus.
And I was gonna say Marcus. Magnus. And Magnus, of course, is a really nice guy. He's not at all anything remotely fascistic, but of course, all it took was for one of these morons to say that Magnus was this, far right, crazy, blah blah blah, and we were part of that, right? We were shaking hands with fascists, wanting to break bread with Nazis. So all these same people that say that now support Ukraine and have Ukrainian flags and have no problem sending weapons to actual Nazis with like Nazi tattoos and guns in Ukraine. So what are they going to say now? Because communists were in attendance with people on the right at this rally, guys. The communists, the commies, and the people on the right both attended this rally. So I'm going to go ahead and read the second.
You got it.
27.
I got it right here, man.
So it says an estimated 70,000 people took to the streets of Prague, calling on the ruling coalition to bring energy prices under control while voicing their opposition to the European Union and NATO. Protests organizers from several far right and fringe political groups. This is what it was. This is how they state it, right? Like fringe, they always say that, and far right groups, and said that the Central European nation should be neutral militarily and maintain gas imports from Russia. Because what's happening is them not getting these gas imports is going to screw the economy of the country. An estimated 70,000 people took to the streets, according to police. Some of the groups in protest were the anti-migrant populist Freedom and Direct Democracy Party, alongside the Czech Communist Party. So you have the anti-migrant populist Freedom, like the Patriots, and the Direct Democracy Party, and the Czech Communist Party. So you have all these different factions You have the right and the far left, because communists, you could say it's far left. How the hell did they do this? How can they say, hey, we're going to protest the government because they're screwing all of us? How is it possible that they can do what we can't do, this little country? Why can't we do? Oh, because you're breaking bread with fascists, Virella. You're canceled.
Yeah.
So I have to put, to me, that was the most telling thing of this whole thing. How do you get 70,000 people in the streets? Well, you don't say, hey, did you vote for Trump? Okay, you can't come here. That's you're never going to get anywhere. At this moment in the United States and North America and in the West, because that's where the West is at, you need to have working class unity, and the working class includes people both on the right and on the left and everything in between. So, and it said the aim of our demonstration is to demand change, mainly in solving the issue of energy prices, especially electricity and gas, which will destroy our economy this autumn. This is what the event co-organizer Jiri Havel told local media. The protesters demanded the resignation of conservative Prime Minister Peter Fiala, criticizing his coalition government on a number of issues while slamming its Western-oriented policies. So demonstrators gathered at Wenceslas Square in the city center one day after the government survived a no-confidence vote amid opposition claims of inaction against inflation and energy prices. So again, to recap what's going on in Europe, energy prices are soaring. The people are having a hard time affording any sort of lights and either air conditioning. Right now it was air conditioning. Now it's going to turn to heating, and come winter, they know that winter is coming and it's going to be
Winter is
brutal.
coming,
Exactly. And there's a new, what is it, precursor to the Game of Thrones.
Yeah, they went nuts. People watching it.
I haven't seen it yet, but anyway, sidebar. But but winter is really indeed coming. So people aren't stupid. They're noticing all these things. And what's the government doing? Oh, maybe you should travel during the winter, or maybe you should not turn this light on. Maybe you should shower with not as hot water. Like they're making the people pay for their bullshit. They're making everyday people have to be the ones to bear the brunt of them giving billings to Ukraine, them sanctioning Russia. And Russia's like, if you're not going to pay in rubles, you don't get gas. So that's what's basically going on. Russia's cutting off because they're like, we said as much. You guys are sanctioning us. Basically, what they're saying is, if you stop sanctioning us, it's fine. We'll deal with it. But they want to continue sanctioning Russia. And so when Russia's like, okay, we won't sell you gas, they say, wow, Russia's causing this. But they're sanctioning Russia. So Russia's putting their foot down. And that's the crisis that's going on. And so protesters also condemned the government for joining the EU sanctions on Russia over the war in Ukraine, saying they were causing gas and electricity prices to rocket. So people don't care about this. They're like, we should be neutral. Why are we doing this and sacrificing our people for Ukraine, for Zelensky, and for a bunch of fascists in Ukraine? That's really what's going on here. It's insane. Pasta, anything to say on that so far?
No, it's just one of those things where they're just going to keep trying to sell it where, Ukraine's freedom is our freedom, which is just not truth. And it's just bad business right now. I met somebody, a Czech fam, and, she's a businesswoman and she's smart. And she even says, they don't want to deal with the situation with the beef you guys have with Putin. It's bad for business. They want to deal directly with Putin. And why wouldn't they want to deal directly with a country that's going to give them cheaper energy, that's not going to make them play games? I mean, we're at the I know you are, but what am I stage of foreign policy? Like, who's your friends? Come over to this side of the sandbox or don't play at all. And people in other countries are like, no. I mean, some countries out of the gate, like India, were like, no. And I'll see you at the G7, and I'm also going to go to BRICS, and you're not going to say a thing about it. And, even the Saudis were like, yeah, we'll consider paying, the Chinese for yuan and their money and stuff. They're looking at America going, hey, man, you guys are bad for business. We're not going to crash our economy like the dumb idiot Europeans are,
Yeah.
just because you have some foreign policy warmongers and a military industrial complex that needs to get fed and fed heftily. They're not playing it no more, and good for the Czech people getting out there, you know? From what I understand,
Yeah.
this president's a Slovak too. He's not a Czech, and he's already kind of like an oligarch in Slovakia, and has got a lot of stuff over there, and people are like, no, now you're not going to come over here and do the same thing. Get the hell out. So
Yeah, and again, I really got to commend them for coming together against the, the neoliberal globalist bullshit NATO type of effect in the country. If we could only do that, if I could
Yeah.
only see a fraction of people out in the streets against this war and against the sanctions and against NATO, that would be great for the United States. But we can't even get a tenth of the people out in the streets for that. They're too busy, rallying with AOC for against Republicans and all the bullshit for all the bullshit social causes that really are just the wedge issues that they're trying to put out on us, and that's where the United States is at, and it's so sad. So Dagny Taggart posted this, right? And this video went viral. Now, this video, of course, has been everywhere, but basically, let me read what she said real quick before you play it. Or
go ahead.
yeah. The entire Wenceslas Square demands the resignation of the government. We will demand that the current cabinet, which is working against us, resign. A 70,000 strong rally was held in Prague, also demanding lower gas and electricity prices and neutrality on the conflict in Ukraine. So, yeah, you can just go ahead and play it, Pam. It's a short video, but look at all those people. Right. And so that's the Czech Republic.
You hear him singing, fam?
Yeah. So that's the Czech Republic. So then this is spreading because then Germany had several cities in several states, because Germany has states kind of like we do. And Cologne was one area in Germany that had people protesting. And this was in also against sanctions and to resume energy ties with Russia, because Germany has been one of the hardest hit and will be one of the hardest hits. And its political leaders don't care. You saw, I think we played it last week, right? The woman was like, she's willing to do whatever it takes to help Ukrainians, and in spite of the citizens, and look at the Russian flag. So
fam,
let's play this.
We're gonna fight to the very last.
Byzantina.
To the last
Ukrainian.
Ukrainian.
I like how they have drums.
Yeah, I know.
Like actual drums. Pam, I think you need to take a trip to the EU. There's the cops.
Bam.
There they go. So that's Germany. So now the Germans are also protesting, right? And that was one state of Germany. And here's another one, fam. Here's another protest that happened. I mean, this has happened in the last 24 to 46, 48 hours. These protests over the weekend. So it's crazy, but it's happening because these people know Europe is about to experience, just people are going to freeze. I mean, it's already cold here, right? So it's not just the Czech Republic, but many in Europe are pushing back. Hundreds of German citizens protested the delivery of weapons to Ukraine in Kassel. Protesters blocked the entrance to the arms factory of the Rheinmetall Corporation. So that not only were they protesting, they blocked the entrance to the arms factory.
Look at that.
What based the police used batons and tear gas against them. Okay, so let's play this video. This is at night. So that's why it's going to be dark. Like the music, fam.
You don't like the music, fam?
They said I do. Wow. Look at that. Rise up against Trump.
Meter zurück! Es gibt Pfeffer und Schlagstock! Meter zurück!
Workhouse.
Fam. Things gonna go down over
Germany.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a huge NATO, country. I mean, like, and they were in one of the signs said, no gold or no money for these weapons is what the sign said. And it's crazy because Germany has been portrayed in media as one of the largest supporters of backing Ukraine, but that's the government. We don't really get to see how most people feel, right? We don't really get to see that. And of course, this is the last one that happened in Germany. So now we're looking at 3, right? This is from Lubmin in the state of Mecklenburg and Vorpommern, Germany. And this is a protest against sanctions as well, but also to launch the Nord Stream 2. And again, like I said, this is one of several German cities that also is advocating to end the supplies to Ukraine. And this one video, of course, came from RT. France was the one that actually, I think, had it up. So you can see the Nord Stream 2 sign there, the Russia sign.
Translate, fam.
I can barely hear what he said, fam. Too fast for me. Too fast. My name is something. Okay, so you guys can sort of get the idea, right? So that was that. And I was kind of surprised when France came into the picture because France, as you know, is another one of these countries that has been backing Ukraine. You have Macron, who won. You have one of the most neoliberal, presidents, globalist types, and of course he has been protested largely in France. We've seen numerous protests against it, but recently this protest happened over the weekend, and it was against the sanctions and also against NATO. So let's take a look here. And so they demanded an exit from NATO, and they also were saying things like Macron, get out, get Frexit. And so again, like I mentioned, France, Germany, and the Czech Republic are the countries that have been protesting so far. I believe there's more happening soon, if it hasn't happened already. There it is. Let's play it. Vive la France.
Sortons de nos bancs. Sortons de nos bancs.
One more time, fam. Come on.
I'm pretty sure, fam, that they're saying something about NATO. Because in French, just like it is in Spanish, it's um, the translation is OTAN. Pretty sure, something like that. Um, anyway, so guys, people are protesting in Europe. Why? Because they know they're going to freeze. They not only that, the price of inflation has gone up. I mean, inflation has gone up. The price of goods has gone up. And you can see here, this is what the Sun put out. And the Sun has not been partial to Russia. The Sun literally had to admit this. This is the Sun is a UK based publication. I don't know, I want to call it news, but it's more of a publication. So guys, here's the comparison. What's been going on in the UK. Now, this is the UK, right? Separate from the EU. But still obviously NATO nation. And price of food has gone up 10.5%. Potatoes up 18%. Bananas 12%. Cabbage 10. Tomatoes 15. Carrots 16. Energy bills up 80%. 80%, guys. Do you know what having your energy bill 80%? Imagine you pay $300 a month for your bill in Florida. Fam, how much more money would that be?
Too much more money. And
Almost double.
Gordon Dimmick was on today, fam. So we talked about this,
Yeah.
and it's like prices of energy are shooting through the roof, fam, and it's just getting out of
Yep.
hand now. So it's just to a point where
People
we
can't afford it.
Sorry about that. That's what I wanted to put up there. Good stuff, fam. And also too, fam, raising tomatoes 15%. That's really bad. I don't know if everybody knows this, but I'm 61% Southern Italian, and tomatoes, you don't mess with it, fam. You don't.
Fam, can
Sorry.
you do me a favor and put that back up so I can show them what Russia?
Yes, you
Russia,
can.
the price
Yes.
of food down 11.3, potatoes down 28%, bananas down 14%, cabbage 33, tomatoes, fam, down 14%. Fam,
What I
you can make
told you.
some good pasta over here. Come visit. Down 13% for carrots, and energy bills up 10%. Why? Well, it's been a hot summer for Russia, they tell me. I didn't think it was that hot, but for Russians, it was hot. And obviously, there's still some effects, right, from all of this happening. And come winter, though, you'll see. It's gonna be solid because, like I said, here gas literally turns on automatically in the winter. So before the winter, actually, it turns on in a few weeks. It's going to turn on automatically because it's starting to get cold here, fam. And
Fam, stop it. You're not even like in the
fam, it's
You're not-
in the 50s.
fam.
In
You're
the
not even there yet.
It's September. It's the first week of September. It's literally, my brother was literally in water in Florida. Like, okay, people are melting in California. I'm used to that weather. I'm over here and it's 50 or 47 and it's raining. And I'm like, what the hell? This is not right.
Now,
So anyway,
the Russia does
I'm
have
gonna
one
have
arrow,
warm.
though, by the way, fam. You see the one arrow, the energy bills are up 10%.
Yeah,
So even though everything else is down, why is their energy up? I mean, why aren't they like hitting perfect?
I just said.
Could you explain again? I'm so sorry.
Fam. I think fam has ADD.
No. I'm just working stuff over here.
So because it's been a hot summer for Russia, and I still think like the energy stuff does affect them, but I mean I definitely, you know what I mean, like there's still some residual effects, but like I said, come winter it's gonna be chill, it's gonna be fine because they have now other markets, because remember they had Europe as a market before, so that's still going to have some effect. But once we see these deals happen with India, with Pakistan, and everything that's going on with China and other parts of the world because Russia is like, just like, okay, we have other markets now. We don't need you. So the sanctions that were initially supposed to affect Russia, guess what? They're affecting the EU and the UK. They're affecting the United States, as you guys know. I mean, but not nearly as bad as obviously Europe, because that's, you know, it's a whole other realm.
Yes, fam.
But yeah, so that's that section. And I think I'm happy that people are protesting. I think more people need to protest. And I think the United States needs to look at that and be like, what are we doing, fam?
Well, we
Gather the
can't get on
troops,
the
fam.
street. We can't get in the street. We just, you know, for some reason, it's got to be, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's sad because we just can't get our butts in the street. Guys, there it is right now. You see the link down below. Please do it. Show some love. GiveSendGo.com/The Combo Couch Brazil. We have one donator. Jump on there if you can afford to. Help us out. Let's get those boots on the ground so we can rub elbows with Lula and Bolsonaro and bring you the scoop of what's going on. This is a little bit interesting because there are computer tabulations and computer machines being involved and used inside Brazil. So we want to be able to go over there and report back everything that we see in this most important election, fam.
And you know how fam gets nerdy when it comes to machines and tabulations. So if you want to see Pasta nerd out, you know
Yeah,
what
that's
to
how
do.
I nerd out. That's how I nerd out. Fam, we have no more super rays at this time, but we do have 72 people over on the Rokfins. Thank you so much. 11 on the Rumble. Guys, I am just right now copying the link and I'm going to drop it down in the YouTube and in the Rokfin so that you guys can share. If you don't mind double watching us, you know, one computer over here,
Yeah,
one computer
also
there.
make sure to follow us on Rumble too, so we get that
Yes.
up and going because we just started on that.
We need some rumbles,
So
fam. We need rumbles.
we do. We need some rumbling. So this is a quick section. I just wanted to point this out. I mean, this is a kind of a big deal. A lot of my co-workers here are from the UK. And they did not want this woman to win. And she did. And it looked like it was going in that direction, right? For a while. Initially it was like Priti Patel, then it became between Liz Truss and her opponent. I forget his name right now, but she duked it out and she won, right? And she's replacing Bojo Johnson, as the elected prime minister of the UK, right? And we're also going to talk about Chile. So she has become Britain's next prime minister, and she is described as this is from CNN, a tax-cutting crusader who has modeled herself on Margaret Thatcher. What a great role model. And endeared herself to the Conservative Party's pro-Brexit right wing. Has won its leadership election and will take over for Boris Johnson tomorrow as the UK's new leader. So there it is. She won. She beat this guy right here. And a lot of people have been saying I'm not even going to mention it, that she reminds people of Chucky. That's been the thing among what people have been saying. But sidebar, so she's going to be the new leader of the Conservative Party. Like I said, she's going to take over on Tuesday, tomorrow, almost today for some of us. And of course, she's going to inherit a cost of living crisis, the aftershocks of Brexit, a war in Europe, and dropping support for the Conservatives in the opinion polls. So the first thing she did was actually praise Boris Johnson and congratulated her opponent. His name is Rishi Sunak. That was her opponent that we saw. Mm-hmm. And she also congratulated Boris Johnson, saying that, Boris, you got Brexit done, you crushed Jeremy Corbyn, you rolled out the vaccine, and you stood up to Vladimir Putin. Wow, what a wonderful platform she has. You got Brexit done, you crushed Jeremy Corbyn, and you rolled out the vaccine and stood up to Vladimir Putin. This woman seems like a nightmare, just from everything she said there. You are admired from Kiev to Carlisle. I know that our beliefs resonate with the British people. I campaign as a conservative and I will govern as a conservative. Now, conservative, like I said, in Europe and in other countries, it's a little bit different. you could say that most conservatives in like the UK and Europe are actually the equivalent to Democrats. Here, it's like, it's a little different, but I consider her as more of a globalist than anything of a, like a nationalist conservative at all. I don't think she is. I mean, guys, she literally wants to go to war with China and Russia. So she won 57% of the votes to Rishi Sunak's 43%. And they thought this was a much closer race than what they had initially anticipated. And yeah, she's going to take over, and she's going to have a meeting with Queen Elizabeth II soon. So that's that on her. But there's a couple things I want to point out
Here, I got
specifically
this up
about
here.
her.
There we go.
You have it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the next one, you have the next
Yes,
one?
I get the next one for you. My bad. This here.
Yeah, so she wants more weapons to Ukraine and more sanctions against Russia. This was from an article from a little bit earlier, and basically she said this about Russia. She said Russia's aggression cannot be appeased and must be met with strength. We must not allow a prolonged and increasingly painful conflict to develop in Ukraine. She also says that the West must team up, must learn the lessons of history after Russia's president had pocketed concessions before his invasions of Georgia, Crimea, and Donbass. Do you see our policies here? We must be relentless in ensuring Ukraine prevails through military aid and sanctions. We can't take our foot off the accelerator now. This is our policy towards Russia. Her policy towards China is very similar. This woman's going to take Britain. It's already, Britain's already in a shitty situation economically. She's going to tank it. She's going to tank it even more. And she's, of course, beating those war drums closer to nuclear war. And this is terrible. I said this, and a lot of people have been echoing this message too. R.I.P. to the UK.
Well,
I mean,
it's just a different, right? It's another form of a globalist. That this one is pretty much the next coming of Margaret Thatcher. That's what they talked about, that some of her idols are and stuff. So she's the one who said some stuff that, like, she's ready to press the button need be. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about the fact that she's a woman. She has no problem going nuke. And you could see the same kind of bojo attitude towards Russia. They're keeping their foot down over here.
Worse.
There's money to be made. Yeah, worse, absolutely. I mean, yeah, worse.
Yeah,
Is right.
she's worse than Bojo. I mean, they picked somebody that's worse than Boris Johnson. That's more of a warmonger, because Boris Johnson at least said something like a little bit more tepid in terms of. I mean, he was still praising Ukraine and all that stuff, but she is like on another level. She's like, no, we must oppose Russia. They must be stopped. Like, she has a complete, like, taking the rhetoric to the next level. And Margaret Thatcher, are you kidding me? So that's what's going on in England. And now, of course, the other big thing that happened in Latin America now is that, remember, Chile was voting on this new constitution. Now, when we talked with Whitney Webb, she was like, there's a lot of things that aren't great in it. And, Gabriel Boric isn't, he's like a liberal, and yeah, he is. But a lot of people were taking hope in that this constitution would at the very least be away from the Pinochet era constitution, which Pinochet was like a paramilitary fascist who literally assassinated a bunch of people like in like every other day. And Chile has had that problem for a long time, right? So this was an opportunity for them to get rid of that constitution at least. But 98.43% of the vote counted, Chile's referendum on a new constitution failed. They rejected, and you can see the numbers there. Approved, apruebo, is 38.10%. Rechazo, which is rejection, 61.90%. And you can see that's a huge margin, and didn't work. So now they're going to have to go again back to the drawing table. And Whitney was like, well, maybe they should get put some other things in. They put like a very general thing about abortion. I think that's a mistake. If they did that, I think that's a really dumb thing to do, because that's such a it's not an economic issue as much, and a lot of Latin Americans are still very conservative on that. And but then some of our other friends were like, yeah, but now this constitution is going to automatically have to be moved towards give more concessions to the center and the right. So now it's going to be not as good. So it looks like it's not going to be a good thing for Chile. A lot of people were having a lot of hopes on this. We'll see what happens. I think Chile's still far from being where it should be. And yeah, The Guardian actually put this out. Chile votes overwhelmingly to reject new progressive constitution. And of course, the rejection campaign won and it defeated the bid for the Pinochet era to replace the Pinochet era settlement. So, and this is guys, and this is the people voting for this. This is I don't know. I haven't been to Chile's elections. I'm not exactly sure how they work. That's one of the countries we did not go to, fam. So I don't know how their elections work, but it's from the videos we saw, the lines seem to be very long, and it seems like people did go out to vote. But people have to understand, Chile has been ruled by a very, neoliberal type of right-wing they're very anti-left anything, worse than Peru, worse than I think pretty much any country in Latin America, I would say. And it's gonna take a minute, unfortunately. So yeah, so that's the update in Latin America, because
it's gonna
it's crazy,
take a minute, fam, to fall in
Yeah.
love. To fall in love. Wait, what's going on over here, fam? Let me see. Let me refresh this page because it says 50 there. When you will refresh, boom, 100. Look who's joined the party.
Oh, Marie.
Fonseca. What's up, homegirl? We love you. We miss you.
We do love you. I'm gonna need to
there.
take a trip to
No, fam.
Miami.
Fam, we
What?
don't have the time. You have to get back to the Kremlin. You can't do these things, fam.
Marie, if I make it to Miami, I will let you know. Okay.
It's right.
I just saw a picture of Nico House and Kim Iverson in Miami.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna try to go in early, but I couldn't. Got too much stuff going on. But
yeah, bullshit.
yeah. I'm going there next week, fam. I'm going next week.
Oh yeah,
dude.
that's right.
I am going to be speaking at an election integrity event with my good friend Tim Canova. Who else?
With
is
all
there?
the
Benny
right-wing
Smith.
fascists.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of based lefties there. Phil Evans, who put a data analysis, pattern analysis on the map. And this is something that Patrick Byrne, who's throwing this thing, who I got to speak to Patrick Burns, and he was talking about, well, you know what happens when this happens and that happens, fam, we become Venezuela. And I was like, yeah, actually, Venezuela has a better election system than us. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah, Patrick. I said, he gave me that look like, man, this guy knows what he's talking about when it comes to election. I've been like, yeah, because we've been playing in this game for a long time. We've been swimming in these waters trying to get this thing straight. That is why, guys, we are going to Brazil, and we need all the help we can get. We understand it's the beginning of the month. Things are tight right now. It's tight times for a lot of people. But if you can afford to help, please throw your coins in the ring and get us out over to Brazil. At this election integrity event, fam, which is going to be hosted by Lara Logan on Saturday, just 4 blocks down the street from Mar-a-Lago and the Hilton in West Palm Beach. There's also going to be Benny Smith, who created the term fraction magic. We did a whole video on this, fam, and we talked about what they were calling hammer and scorecard, and we were laughing and chuckling at it because we had known that this is not just like a bug in the system. This is a feature, a weighted feature used to flip and switch elections, and it's in there by design, not by accident. And it's called Fraction Magic. And Benny, who writes code, who got a hold of this code for Bev Harris back in the days, he will also be attending this part of the solutions panel. Fam, you hear what panel they're putting us on? Solution panel. And Clint Curtis will be there too as well, who also will debunk when Sidney Powell says that it was Hugo Chavez who asked for a flipping mechanism, a machine, a program. Well, we have the guy that 2 years before that, the date that she had given us, was approached by a Florida politician to make a flipping mechanism back in the days, one of the first. So he will be there as well. So we have Tim Canova, who ran against Debbie Wasserman Schultz. So we have all these people who are based leftists or common sense leftists, fam, whatever you want to call us, that will be attending this particular event. And that's, you got to tip your hat off to people like Patrick Burns. Mark Fincham will be there as well. So this is going to be like a great event. There's going to be a lot of education going on. I'm going to learn some people a lot, fam. I've created the 6 principles of free and fair elections, and they are just lit. The number one principle is something that Cynthia McKinney told us: the public must be involved, heavily involved, and not just saying like, we're going to take 20 volunteers and after that we're locked out. No, you have to say, no, I want to volunteer. We need more people volunteer. You want to know the statistics, the schematics of things. How many people are expected to vote at this vote center? How many people are expected to vote at this precinct? Well, that's not enough people. We need to put this on the map, because what we saw in Nicaragua, Honduras, Colombia, Peru, all these countries, the participation of the population is heavily involved, of the citizens, heavily involved. And the rules are in front of them. So it's easy to control these things and see what's going on, because it's right in front of you, and there's a mass amount of civilians, the people who have skin in the game, are involved. Not these subcontracted out companies, fam, where the people don't care. They're getting a paycheck. These are people who have skin in the game. That's the people, and they need to be involved. And that's Cynthia McKinney's number one point on how we take back our elections.
Good job, fam.
It's right there, fams. It's right there.
Okay.
Fam,
So thank you, fams.
To end the show, I figured I would grab something, a little treat for you. I don't know if you've ever heard of Robin Harris, fam.
Yes, fam. You've talked about her multiple times.
No, this is not that's a different Robin. That's Robin Gibson. That's Robin Gibson. Fam, I'm talking about Robin Harris, right? And he has this one whole bit. When you said, we were talking about he was like, he did this bit. He said, there's no execution in California in some places. He goes, why? Because they said they can't find anybody to do the switch, to push the switch. And he's like, I'll do it right here. I'll get rid of these son of a bitches. Put them on there. Let's go. Let's get rid of. Let's hit the button. It was like an execution bit, fam. Kind of like what I was laughing about the oligarchs and stuff like that. Like, just get them on there. Let's go. So I pulled up a little Robin Harris to play us out, fam. So here we go. Robin Harris. Guys, we love you. Come back and see us Wednesday.
Yeah, what do we have Wednesday, fam?
Oh, let me lower this and pause this real quick. I'll pause that real quick before we get it.
It might be
Wednesday, you have early. You have Alex Rubenstein, and you're going to talk about the Jon Stewart video, right? The Jon Stewart the situation when it came to him honoring an Azov battalion. So he'll be on with you first, and then we're supposed to have a panel. And I'm making sure everything's okay, because I had it confirmed. Now they're saying there's issues with the time, but we'll get it worked out. It's supposed to be Jimmy Dore, Dave Smith, and Sam Tripoli, and it's supposed to be a dual stream between us and Clint Curtis from Liberty Lockdown. Clint Russell from Liberty Lockdown. Sorry. Clint Curtis is the election integrity guy. Clint Russell, my boy. Clint, you should be pissed off at me, but that's what's supposed to be going on, fam. That's supposed to be going on Wednesday.
I'm pissed off.
And hopefully Jeremy Lafredo is supposed to come through Rebel News on Friday, talk about what's going on with those farmers, what's going on, the health regulations in New York. He's got a lot of great stories, fam. You're a big fan of Jeremy Lafredo, so yeah. That's it, fam. Anything
you want to play us out?
You got nothing else to say? That's it? Just silence and a smile?
You want to play us out? I don't know.
Fam, what's
Why
going
you're
on in
so
our
awkward?
RT this week? Just you're supposed to cover me over here.
Oh, I'm going. I'll be doing stuff this week on RT.
You'll be doing
So
stuff this week on RT.
I'll be doing stuff. Deep State. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna play us out. This is Robin Harris. One of my he was I like this guy as a comedian. He died a long, long time ago. But check him out, fam. This is Robin Harris.
Yeah. I don't know who that is.
Well, just listen and you'll hear. Bye, everybody.
Here, you know, wind blew my ass away though. It's cold out there, y'all. Saw Superman in the cab. Damn. I said, why you ain't flying? My defrost ain't working, Robbie. Oh, guys, how you doing, fella? You ain't never seen me before, is you? Big man like that. Put the spotlight on him. Got to talk about you, man. Yeah, you swole up too, ain't you? Yeah. You a big fucker, you know that? Well, that man's so big, he's no be walking and rolling. Just... Damn. I see you got a weight problem. Can't wait to eat. Damn. Oh. You said nothing, did you? The gold chain. Is that gold or just been spray painted? Put the light on, right here. With the gold chain on. I bet that's just been spray painted. He can't even walk past a magnet. Clank. Got on that Richie Cunningham sweater. What you laughing at? Hey, put it over here, right here. Put the light on the brother with the hole in his natural. Trying to play it off. And look at your friend got on these press-on nails. Right here. Put the light on. Put press-on nails. Shit, they don't know me. I come down here. These press-on nails. These press-on. No, these your nails. I see the dirt on. Hey. Look what they got here. Look at mine. Look at this. Ain't this a bitch? Hey, fucking unemployment office. Ain't that a bitch? Yeah, I got a job looking for one. I've been out of work so long, I forgot what kind of work I'm out of. You know, a lot of brothers don't want no job, do they? They be sitting around the house 8 hours a day smoking a joint. Looking through the want ad, come on. Damn, the job situation looks sad. Going, shit, I wish I could find me a job.